to the streaming service. I'm glad that you could tune in with us this morning. I'm sorry we're running a little bit late. We had a little miscommunication about lock gates and getting in here. So we'd like to start off with Sutra chanting Sambujo on page 24 of the Big Purple Book, and followed by Jusei Ge on page 93 of the Purple Book. please join me with Gatha Namu Amidabasu on page 174 of the Big Purple Book. And I don't know how to work the music here, so we're going to have to do this a cappella this morning. When life is fair and sunlight gilds the day, when fortune smiles and flowers adorn our way, oft let us pause with grateful hearts to say, Namu Ami Dabusu. Ere though our way leads neath the darkened sky, and to our love one's pain and death draw nigh, our tears may flow, yet trustingly we cry, Namu Ami Dabusu. Namu Ami Dabusu. Namu Ami Dabusu. Namu Ami Dabusu. This morning is going to be kind of a different service here today because I'm supposed to go on a Zoom with a Dharma school in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to start the adult Dharma talk. We might have to break in the middle of it to go with the Dharma with the youth program. So here we go. Please join me in Gasho for an opening reading. Just breathe. You are strong enough to handle your challenges, wise enough to find your solutions to your problems, and capable enough to do whatever needs to be done. Namu Ami Dabasu. Namu Ami Dabasu. Namu Ami Dabasu. I have about a 5-minute talk here this morning, so let's see if we can get this in before the Dharma school comes. Yesterday I was watching a seminar that was put on by the CBE. And it was called Everyday Buddhism. And one of the questions that was asked when there says, what do you do if someone tries to talk to you about trying to convert you to another religion? I think I would handle this by I would try to simply smile at them and tell them I would like to change the subject. But sometimes they try to press their advantage, and they're pretty persistent sometimes, and they want to continue the conversation. The thing is, you don't have to continue. You could do the easiest thing, is you could just walk away from them. I mean, sometimes they get in your face and you don't want to deal with it. So you could just walk away. Or you could engage them in a meaningful conversation. A conversation of what Buddhism means to you. If I asked you the question, what does Juro Shinshu mean to you? I would get a different answer from probably each and every one of them, each of you as they're thinking about this. I think if I asked a group of people, I think the answers might be closer. Because you're going to kind of say what you've heard or what you've been taught. And I think as a group, you want to try to fit in. And it'll make you feel that you don't want to feel that you don't understand, and so you want to fit into this group. This is okay, because what is true for you may not be true for others. If as a society, if we could understand that we would be much better off. The American public cannot agree on anything, says we are so far to the left and so far to the right, and there is no common ground whatsoever. This topic is almost like someone wanted to change your beliefs on religion. This topic may be easier. The American way of thought should be changed from extremes to the middle path, or the middle way. This path could bring us together, and maybe we would be better together instead of being so far apart. But going back to the original question, I would not try to provoke an argument. Ignoring them would be exceptionally rude. And when you're talking to, or especially when you're talking to a family member, and whatever is not an answer. I would sit back and give them a little smile that indicates you know the answer to everything, and because you are a Buddhist. Seriously, try this. It would drive them crazy. They want to argue with you. Just show that you're content in who you are, and I think being happy with yourself and not trying to please others would live you to a long and happy life. So, don't worry, be happy. So now I'm going to try to log on to the internet here with the Dharma Youth Program. And I don't have the login number. Let me try here. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry I don't have the login here. I'll just see if I can find it. Excuse a little patience here with me this morning. Well, it seems I don't have the log information in here on this computer. Maki, if you're listening, if you could try calling me or my wife. I guess we're not going to log in with the Dharma Youth Program on Sunday. So I'm going to continue on. And hopefully they are listening. I'm going to continue on with their Dharma talk. I'm sorry for the confusion here this morning, but it's just one of those mornings. Okay, so I'm going to do the Dharma Youth Program talk here now, and then we'll go on. This is for the Dharma Youth, and I'm sorry, Maki, I don't have the login information. Good morning, everyone. I know this morning that you're going to do Halloween projects, and I thought we would talk about the traditions of Halloween, jack-o'-lanterns, and trick-or-treat. So, the tradition of Halloween was actually an end-of-the-year celebration of the ancient Celts of Britain and Ireland, and it was called the Festival of Shamshan, and it's celebrated on November 1st. And it was believed back then that this was the start of the new year. It was the time we brought the cattle back in, the harvests were harvested, they were getting ready for winter. And during the festival, the souls of the dead returned, of those who died, died that year are said to return, the souls of all the dead returned, and all those who died were said to return to the underworld. When the Romans conquered the Celts in the first century, they added a few more gods, and it became the festival of Feralia. But in the 7th century, a pope established All Saints Day, which was originally on May 13th, and they think that this was done to supplant the pagan holiday with a Christian holiday. The evening before the holiday became holy or hallowed, hence All Hallows Eve. And the contraction made was this to become Halloween. And so that's how that Halloween became, it's actually called All Halloween celebration. But we know it as Halloween. The jack-o'-lantern, which we all carve in that, originally comes from an Irish myth about an Irishman called Stingy Jack, who tricked the devil for his own monetary gain. And when he died, God would not let him into heaven, and the devil would not let him into hell, and he was said to wander the earth. So the Irish carved turnips, and if anybody's ever seen a turnip, it's about this big. So they carved turnips with demonic faces on it to frighten Jack's wandering soul. And when the Irish began to immigrate to the U.S., they began carving out pumpkins. Now, trick or treat doesn't have origins that are really known. There's legends of it. Part of it was it came from this thing of giving from trick or treat to house. They really didn't know. And they think that it believed it started in the early 1900s. And they think they started in Northeast Canada, in Newfoundland and the areas up there. But the earliest dates in the U.S. that comes is in the 1920s, and the earliest one that they have original, they talk about this, is in Michigan. So trick-or-treating is basically a North American holiday. This is the history of Halloween, and it's not considered a religious holiday, but does have religious origins from the Celts and the Catholics. So why do we celebrate it? Probably the biggest reason is that our neighbors, acquaintances, friends, and everyone we know celebrates it. And this is kind of what is called assimilation, or assimilating with society. An attempt to fit in with society or not to stick out in the crowd. But this is okay because we want to belong and we want to be accepted by our peer groups. And that is okay too. But remember, as a group, we still need to find our identity, and always remember that you are a link in Amita's golden chain of love. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amidavas. Namo Amidavas. Namo Amidavas. Okay. We kind of got out of sequence here this morning because we were trying to get on with the Dharma school, but please join me in the reading of the threefold refuge. Difficult is it to receive human form, now we are living it. Difficult is to hear the Dharma of the Buddha, now we hear it. If we do not cross over the truth in the present life, In what life shall we cross over? Let us with sincerity and true reverence take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we, together with all sentient beings, awaken to the great way of enlightenment and to the unsurpassed intent of Amida Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we, together with all sentient beings, enter the storehouse of the Dharma, becoming like the wisdom ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we, together with all sentient beings, become units in true accord, in harmony with all things. The peerless, profound, and wondrous Dharma is rare to encounter. Even in many hundreds and thousands of kalpas, now we are privileged to hear it and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Okay, we've done the Dharma talks. We did threefold refuge. Let's do Gatha on page 220 of the big purple book. And again, I'll try this a cappella. Yorai dahi no ondoku wa mio nil shite mo hozu beshi shishu chishakano ondoku mo oneo kudakete mo shashu beshi. Namandas, namandas, namandas. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Now for a closing reading this morning, I'd like to do a reading from the Dalai Lama. People were created to be loved. Things were created to be used. The reason why the world is in chaos is because things are being loved and people are being used. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. I'd like to ask the one Monterey member that's here, do we have any announcements on for, so we have no announcements for Monterey. Next week's service will be at 10 o'clock and it'll be live streaming here at the Monterey Buddhist Temple. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for coming to tuning in to our virtual service this morning. I'm sorry it was a little bit disorganized, but I couldn't get on to the Dharma School Zoom meeting this morning because somehow I lost the numbers to get in there, and I apologize to the Monterey youth. And I hope that we have a good week. Everybody stays safe. Remember, wear your mask, social distancing, wash your hands, use sanitizer, practice all the good things so we can get out of this. Please join me for Gasho one more time, and we'll close the service. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. And thank you for watching.